The finale starts with So-yeon rushing to see Jong-won. As she approaches, Jong-won recalls painful memories of his father abusing his mother, even driving her to attempt suicide. When So-yeon meets him, she admits to having hidden cameras installed to watch him. She says she didn't know it was such a big deal, but just couldn't help herself. She explains that she was desperate to see if he still cared about her, even while In-ji was around, because she wanted them to get back together. Jong-won is shocked and asks if that was her whole reason for spying on him. So-yeon then brings up something far heavier, how he told the doctors to prioritize saving their child over her life when she was being rushed into surgery. She asks how he, of all people, could make that choice. Jong-won admits that when she walked into traffic that day, he blamed her for everything. He says he felt terrible for their child and all the pain surrounding it. So-yeon counters by saying that being pregnant was a nightmare for her. Every moment was suffocating, and she felt useless and miserable. While she dreaded giving birth, he seemed thrilled, as if it gave his life meaning. To her, she was nothing more than a body carrying his child. Jong-won can't understand why she didn't tell him how she felt. So-yeon says she couldn't bear seeing the disappointment in his eyes. Society expects mothers to sacrifice themselves for their children, and she hated herself for not living up to that. Eventually, she started wishing she could erase any maternal instincts she had left. Jong-won admits he'd blamed himself for not realizing how much she was struggling. He thought he'd been selfish and believed that fixing their relationship might make everything better. But then he asks her how she could stoop to something as cruel as what his father did to his family. So-yeon, desperate, says she was scared and didn't know how else to handle things. She tells him they're both guilty of terrible things. She killed their child and he killed his mother. She suggests they can atone together, just the two of them. But Jong-won refuses. He calls her twisted and says he'll find a way to make things right, but not with her. As he walks away, So-yeon is left behind crying. Jong-won confronts In-ji about the cameras, accusing her of knowing about them but staying silent. In-ji admits she knew and apologizes, explaining that she didn't know how to bring it up and didn't want him to find out. She says she should have handled it herself but didn't. Jong-won, clearly fed up, tells her he's tired of excuses and accuses her of ignoring the issue just to keep the peace in their marriage. In-ji pushes back, saying she didn't let it slide entirely. She even confronted So-yeon and got physical with her. Jong-won, half joking, says he wishes he'd seen that moment. Then he leans in, kisses her, and pulls her into a hug. Later, they go for a walk, talking about little things like favorite foods and how long he plans to stay in the house. The mood shifts as they grow closer, spending an intimate moment together. As they talk, Jong-won opens up, confessing that he's been drawn to her from the start. He says he feels like she's the only person who really understands him. He reflects on how different things might have been if they'd met earlier, admitting that they might have drifted apart, but he's certain he would have recognized her as someone special. He tells her that he wants to be with her. In-ji, however, cuts him off. She says she wants a divorce. That's why she wanted to meet up in the first place. She needed to end things. Jong-won, blindsided, asks if he did something wrong. But In-ji doesn't blame him. She says their marriage was a failure and it's her fault because she crossed a line. She explains that she doesn't see a reason to continue their relationship and that it's better to end it now. He challenges her, saying it's time to be honest. He accuses her of hiding behind a facade of being cold and detached, calling it a defense mechanism. He says she's just trying to protect herself because she is scared of being alone. Jong-won points out that they're both fragile people with messy lives and asks her to stop talking about boundaries and just admit her feelings. He insists that she is falling for him too. In-ji, however, holds firm. She tells him she's already crossed a line but clarifies that it doesn't mean he's become someone significant in her life. She tells him again that it's over and asks if he finally understands. Jong-won and In-ji take some time to reflect on their relationship. Later, Jong-won goes looking for In-ji but finds out she's gone. Meanwhile, Ji-ho, who has feelings for So-yeon, finds her unconscious on the floor after an attempted suicide. He rushes her to the hospital. Jong-won later visits her and she tells him she wants to live with him. Ji-ho, despite still being in love with her, has to accept it. He drives her home and says goodbye. When Jong-won sees So-yeon again, he's furious. He tells her that he only let her back into his life because he wanted to give her a chance to face the truth. He admits that he stayed with her out of pity, and now he realizes that there is no going back for either of them. In the previous episode, Tae-sun snuck into Jawan's house to steal Inji's trunk, which contains the marriage contract and the NM marriage manual. However, he ended up taking So-young's trunk by mistake. In episode 8, Tae-sung calls Inji to let her know he has the trunk but can't open it. He threatens to expose the marriage contract and also says he'll kill Jong-won. Inji agrees to meet him to help open it, wanting to protect Jong-won. When she fails to open the trunk, Tae-sun holds her at knife point. Jong-won shows up just in time and a fight breaks out. Inji tries to shoot Tae-sun as he runs away, the gunshot we hear in the opening seconds of the show, but she misses. Afterward, Jong-won and Inji share a hug, relieved they're safe. In the car, Jong-won reassures her, saying he can keep them both safe, but Inji, exhausted, says she just wants everything to be over and gets out of the car, leaving him in tears. Tae-sun flees to a nearby lake in a small boat, but Ji-yo finds him and stabs him through the heart with a fencing sword. So-young's trunk sinks into the lake. Later, So-yeon goes to see Ji-yo after the murder and admits she was wrong about everything. She says he's the one she needs and that he's finally won. As she notices the blade on the table, she asks if it's usually like that. Ji-wo confesses that he killed someone earlier and reveals he was once a guard for NM. He was there when Tae-sun killed another keeper years ago, but ran away, something that's haunted him since. He also admits that he liked being married to her. Finally, he says he'll move out soon and leave her alone. In the police interrogation, So-yeon opens her trunk, which the police had recovered from the lake. Inside, she finds baby clothes, and seeing them breaks her down. She is still deeply affected by the loss of her unborn baby. Meanwhile, Inji goes to the house to collect her things and learns that Jong-won plans to tear it down. She grabs a hammer and starts tearing into the walls, and Jong-won joins in. Later, Jong-won asks if she might stay with him if they run into each other down the road. Inji says maybe, and if it happens twice, that's fate. She thanks him for everything and says no matter what, she'll always appreciate what he's done. Ji-yo gets arrested for Tae-sung's murder, and So-yeon tells Jong-won she and Ji-yo are renewing their contract. She's also hiring a top lawyer to get him out. Jong-won opens up, saying he thought she was suffocating and blamed her, but now he realizes he was holding her back from what she wanted. He admits he should have been honest about why things weren't working. So-yeon admits she was the villain in their relationship, but that thinking that way gives her closure, even if it hurts her pride. The scene shifts to Jong-won, who's now living with his new cats, Cookie and Momo, and cooking. Inji, meanwhile, is clipping her toenails and watching a horror movie by herself, a movie that Jong-won did the music for. They're both taking time to focus on themselves before they're ready to be with someone else. Later, they randomly bump into each other on the streets of Seoul. They're happy to see each other. Jong-won talks about his cats, and Inji shares that she went to see his movie. With tears in his eyes, Jong-won tells her that this is their first chance meeting. Inji says there is one more encounter left before they get it right. They both smile, and the season ends.